Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be learning part 1 on how to make Mario. So I have these sprites here. There's a project with the link on the description below. You can get them there. And so let's get started coding. So let's start with Mario. Well, first let's start by drawing a background. Let's do a nice blue. So let's choose a backdrop and get blue sky and delete this. We can draw a sun. I recommend you hold shift whilst doing this circle so that it will make a nice exact circle when you do shift, just like this. Then we'll start this with a when green flag's clicked. Go to front layer on Mario. And go backwards one layer. So this will make it look better. It's more simple to code like this than go like up to use this only once, because we have to first go to the layer and then go backwards one layer so that it can go like to the second layer. Then we can put my block. So let's make a block called play. And we want this to have and forever. And we want an if block. If right arrow key is pressed, and then we put point in direction 90 is in motion, because when we will do left arrow key, it will be better. So as you can see, there's these costumes. We won't need this one for this project. We'll just need these, and you can simply use them to make Mario walk. So this is the animation and this is him to stand. So if we put him pointing in direction 90 and pointing in direction negative 90, he will simply, even if he's pointed in direction negative 90 and he's pointing in direction 90, he'll still, if you let go of right arrow key or left arrow key, it will still stay stand and it will still point in direction negative 90. So that is good. So if we go here, right arrow key is pressed, point in direction 90, and then switch backdrop to walk 1, switch costume to walk 1. And then repeat until not right arrow keys pressed. So we put the right arrow key in this not, and then we can put this necked costume in, because we want Mario to walk. But we have to put a wait block. Let's put 0.72 seconds. And then we need to put a if costume number is in here equals So we want it to see here, so it's a 3. Switch costume to walk 1. And we can use this weight 0.72 seconds so that it can continue walking just like here, because this will go back to here. Now we'll wait until we code the left arrow, the standing thing, the standing bit. So what we'll need is a left arrow key now. So if we just duplicate this and add a left arrow key, and then we all change it to the left arrow key, point in direction left. This is already left arrow keys done. Now we'll duplicate this again into an up arrow keys pressed. Well, since we don't need a point in direction, we'll just take it away, because in whatever direction he's still going to jump. We have to do change Y by 40 so that it's a great position, because we still have to add gravity. We can put weight for 0.37. This will be a better one. And now, before we continue this, we have to do gravity. So if we just scroll back up, we can, to make it easier, we can make another block called gravity Mario. And then we can scroll back up. We have to make a variable called y velocity. And then we have to do if, else. Have to put a forever. If, else. So if touching ground. Well, my one says foreground, but your one will probably say ground. Or I don't know. If touching ground, we'll put set y velocity to 0. And then else, in the else section, we put weight 0.5 secs. So let's see, and change y velocity by -1. And at the end we'll say change y by y velocity. So if we go play, oh, and then yeah, gravity Mario. see, it will go down. But if we want to make that a little bit faster, we can put a 0 here. And then you can choose which one looks more like gravity. I think the second one looks more like gravity. And yeah. So now we'll code the when up arrow key is pressed. So scroll back down to this one. So when up arrow key is pressed, change Y by 40. And then we can remove this repeat until and just keep this out. Then we put it in here. And then instead of costume number, we'll put Y position. If Y position equals -16, let's say, weight 0. This will make it more also like gravity. Five seconds. And change Y velocity by -1. And then, instead of a if, like this, we'll use an if else. And this will do where the jumping part will come in. Else, switch costume to stand. But now, before we have to test it, now we have to do the scroll. So let's go on to the scroll. So we have to put when green flag's clicked. Wait, there's one more that we need. When green flag's clicked, switch. When green flag's clicked, set scroll. We have to make a new variable called scroll speed. For all sprites. Oh yeah, so it's already might be here, as you can see. So we can put set scroll speed to 1. And then switch costume to costume 1. We have to, if you can see, we can delete this XA, we don't need it. There's this X here. We can put set X to 0. And then we go on to control, and then we put this block called create clone of myself, and we can put it here. But this create clone, a clone is a copy of your sprite that does the same thing, but clones are only allowed to have maximum of 300 clones, so we have to be very careful when we use clones. So, and then we put next costume. Then let's do change X by 480. And create clone of myself again. We can repeat this one. And then after we've done this one, So your coding should look like this, if I'm correct. And change X by 480, yeah? Next, we put broadcast begin so that we know when to start it, to start the scroll. So we put this here when I receive begin, a forever loop, set screen X, we'll have to make a new variable called screen X. For all sprites. We can hide the screen X because we won't really need it. Set screen X to X. So we'll need a new one called camera X. And then we'll take off this negative block. So X, take away camera X, and put it in here, and then set X to negative 0. Well, we have to get a mod first, so let's put this in here, and then plus in this one, and then we put a 480 in here with screen X. And then we need a nut on this side of this here. We can duplicate this. And then we can get this out here. And get a timesing block. So we'll have to get a 480 in here. Times 3, since we have 3 costumes here. And then $480 in here. So the scroll is already done. We can hide this coin for now. So if you want, we can put it in here. So when right arrow key is pressed, change camera X by 16. So let's see what's going to happen now. It is scrolling. But what is the error with Mario here? We forgot to put play. Now actually it looks like we are playing Mario. Look. Maybe we should add a when green flags clicked it. We'll fix this slow mode here later in the next episode. Well, this is the end for this episode, but I can't wait to share part 2 of this episode. So save your project and I'll meet you next time. See you.